Hello, everybody, and this is Auntie, and let's talk about Smokey Robinson. It appears that he has filed a $500 million defamation countersuit against Jane 1 through 4. But he has done this amid a criminal investigation that has been opened up against him. Let's talk about it, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers, to my new friends and nephews, all of y'all who have been here through the long haul. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for auntie advice. Sweet old. It's time for auntie advice. It's time for auntie advice. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for being here. If this is your first time, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for all things trending news. If you have already hit that subscribe button, thank you all so much for doing that. And make sure that you hit that notification bell so that every time I go live, you go live with me. To all of my nieces, nephews, and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. According to an article in the Hollywood Reporter, okay, just one second, I'm going to share my screen. Smokey Robinson files $500 million countersuit after being accused of SA. The famed Motown singer accuses the four women of defamation, slander, intentional infliction of emotional distress, financial elder abuse, and invasion of privacy in his cross complaint. Y'all, this has gotten serious. So let's talk about the specifics, shall we? Yes, we shall. So, in a cross complaint filed today by the Robinsons' attorney, Christopher Frost, and obtained by the Hollywood Reporter, Robinson accuses the Jane Does of defamation, slander, intentional infliction of emotional distress, financial elder abuse, and evasion of privacy, among other claims. Smokey Robinson did not abuse, harm, or take advantage of any of those plaintiffs, according to this article. He treated the plaintiffs with the utmost kindness and generosity. And unfortunately, the depths of the plaintiff's greed knows no bounds. What do y'all think about that? Oh my God. In the cross complaint, it claims that the plaintiffs asked for and accepted help from the Robinsons, including several thousands of dollars, monetary support for members of at least one of the plaintiffs' families, clothes, dental surgery, and even a car over the years that they worked with him. But at the time when the Robinsons were being extraordinarily generous, the suit said that the plaintiffs were concocting an extortionate plan to take everything from Smokey and wrongfully destroy him and the reputation that he has built for himself. Oh my God. Of course, we all know 3 weeks ago, I'll make sure that I put that in the comment section, that the four anonymous women who work for him as his homekeepers sued him um, for essay and rape allegations. In that complaint, the anonymous women accused him of raping them at several of his residences, primarily at his home in Chatsworth, California. The listed causes of action included negligence, sexual B, assault, false imprisonment, and a hostile work environment, among other claims. And so it says Francis was also named as a defendant in a lawsuit, which is his wife, with the women claiming that she failed to take the appropriate corrective action to prevent Smokey deviant misconduct. He denied he denied the allegations, calling them both vile and false. He says that he has evidence that will show that this is simply an ugly method of trying to extract money from him. And he's 85 years old, honey. He's a senior citizen. And he said $50 million to be exact. Now, as we all know, we had discussed when we had initially talked about this, we had discussed the 50 million because prior to that, maybe about a week or two, there was a young woman who stepped out of the dark, okay, and sued Shannon Sharp for the same amount. And so they're sued for 50 million. He said, I'm going to raise that up on you and I'm going to sue you for $500 million. Robinson's complaint says the women fabricated this story and adding that the women paraded themselves in front of the media at their May 6th press conference with help of their attorneys. He says when pre-litigation demands for 100 million or more did not work, the plaintiffs created a media circus and made a public spectacle of themselves. His countersuit also accuses the women of hiding, concealing, and destroying evidence, exposing their illegal scheme. He said in one example, the suit claims one plaintiff took Miss Robinson's cell phone and deleted all their text message exchanges, photos, and identifying information. Now, I'm telling you, if this is true, that they can prove through forensic science that they cleaned that phone off, child, this is going to be a hot mess express. And it may cause other ramifications. Now, in the suit that we saw, the suit that we read previously, again, I will make sure that I put that video, connect this video to this so you can see what the allegations were when we discussed it a couple of months ago. In the suit, they had alleged, right, that, the wife wasn't protecting them. They kind of piggybacked off of each other's story. They, talked about the infamous Blue Room and all this kind of stuff. And right. And they were saying that they had not come forward because they were afraid that, they would be, taken out of the country and that they would not be able to be with their families. So this was one of the things that they all were alleging, right? So I don't know if these women were legal or illegal, but also during the our review of that lawsuit that they said, one of the things that they said that he was holding back their pay and that he was not paying them minimum wage. Well, when I went and looked it up, according to what they were saying, he was paying them minimum wage and paying them more than that. Now, it was still just nickels and dimes, really, because it was a difference, I believe, they indicated that he was paying them like $14, $15 an hour, where I believe, okay, correct me in the comments. I believe that the minimum wage when we researched it in California was $18 an hour. So actually he was paying them like, $3 or $3, $4, over minimum wage. But there was some things that were, kind of contradictory. In their stories, they were talking about, how they had been there. One of the women, I believe, had worked for Smokey Robinson for over 10 or 12 years. And again, why do you stay? Like, why do people stay? And I know that people, have given an explanation or reasoning why people stay. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. But anyway, in another suit, several of the women um discovered. Okay, so it says in another suit, Francis discovered several of their financial records, including bank statements, were missing, and that at least one of the plaintiffs, one of the Jane Does, had access to and knew exactly where these records was kept. So, in the cross complaint, also states that another one knew where the Robinson values were kept, including a hidden safe and gold. Okay, and that is what was later stolen. The Robinsons reported the theft to the police, according to the suit. In a separate motion filed Wednesday, the Robinsons' attorney sought to dismiss the initial suit brought by the women. So right now, we all know, in addition to that, in an article dated May 15, Smokey Robinson now is under criminal investigation after these essay assault allegations. So this has gotten bigger than just a lawsuit of that they have filed for the $50,000, right? So it says that the sheriff's department shared in a statement with the Hollywood Reporter on Thursday that the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department Special Victims Bureau is actively investigating criminal allegations involving Smokey Robinson. And it is in its early stage, and they had no further comments. In response to that investigation, Smokey's attorney, Christopher Frost, wrote in a statement, in quotes, "We are aware that a police report has been filed by the plaintiffs in the civil lawsuit. It is clear to us what is happening here. Plaintiffs filed a police report only after they filed a $50 million lawsuit. This means only that the police are now required to investigate," and that is in quotes. They said that they are welcome. They welcomed that investigation, which involves four plaintiffs who continue to hide their identities because exposure to the truth is a powerful thing. They said that they feel confident that a determination will be made that Smokey did nothing wrong and that this is a desperate attempt to prejudice public opinion and make even more of a media circus than they already have created. The record will ultimately demonstrate that this is nothing more than a manufactured lawsuit intended to tarnish the good names of Smokey and his wife for no other reason than unadulterated avarice. The investigation comes more than a week after Smokey was sued by Jane 1 through 4, who worked for him as housekeepers. In the complaint, the anonymous women accused him of raping them at several of his residences, most primarily at his home. They listed causes of actions included negligence, SSB, assault, false imprisonment, and a hostile work environment, among other claims. He and his wife were also named as a defendant in his suit, with the women claiming that she failed to take the appropriate corrections. Okay. He has adamantly denied the allegations, and again, he has called them vile and false. So this has gotten to be a bigger story than we originally thought it was, because I was not aware that on May 15th, while we were all trying to enjoy some sun and some fun in the sun, that they had actually opened up a criminal investigation about it. Y'all, we will keep up on this story and find out what the outcomes of it, what the outcome is. We will continue to report on this, and one thing about it, the truth will stand by itself. You don't have to remember it. It just is what it is. I think that a lot of the fans were quite disappointed. I know I was one of those ones who were quite disappointed, but I do believe that a person in this country is innocent until they are proven guilty. And so that is where we're going to lean to rock with right now. Okay. Until, the stuff go down. Y'all let me know downtown in the comments section what you think about this. Thank you to all of you all who are here for the replay. Again, let me know what you think. I'm very curious to know. And until we meet again, y'all be safe out there in those streets and in the water. Bye, y'all.